Hello and welcome back to Herald Hearth. My name is Auntie A and I run things around here and I'm excited to have you with me. I'm excited to be back and hosting once more. So today I'm actually going to start off, instead of pulling cards right away, there were some things that came through a full note card. So I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna work through what came through. The first thing that came through is self-care isn't always pretty or cute. Have you fed yourself, drank water, gone to the bathroom? The work you do is good, but you must nourish your physical body too. It's your antenna. It requires balance. What's one way of caring for your physical self that you have put off? How can you take one action today towards that, even if it's a baby step? Okay. I'm going to read the second half of that in a moment. So there's something about, that tells us a lot, I think. That tells us a ton about what this reading is going to be about. Have you taken a moment to breathe today? All the way in, all the way out, mindfully. Yeah. The Fool and the Four of Discs. You were in a position for a really long time where you had to put your own needs aside. You had to reprioritize. Some of you might have had kids, some of you, maybe you have dependents this message is not, it's not that you have to have kids for this message to be for you, but this is coming up. If you have kids, maybe you felt like, you got to take care of your kids, obviously. But there's this, there's what came up on the top of the second page was there's a reason that airlines tell you to put your mask on before you put your kids on. Maybe there's a worry that anytime you pause, anytime you try to take a moment and really connect with yourself, especially if you're the type of person that needs alone time or needs energetic space, you're worried that because there's stuff you're thinking about in that moment of trying to take time for yourself, that you're gonna miss things, that you're missing something, that you're gonna miss something important. And the next thing on this, I keep staring at this because the next line on this is you're justifying putting your physical needs behind other priorities. Now, this might be a bit of a touchy message, and I understand if it's not for everybody, but if it is, if you're resonating with this, I don't see this as an indictment. I see this as a, hey, let us point this out to you. You're worried about missing something because you're thinking all of these things. Anytime you try to take, a moment for yourself, anytime you try to maybe stop and eat a meal or stop and get some water or stop to go to the bathroom or, something that feels like it should be simple and basic, you just haven't had a chance to do for yourself. You're worried because you keep putting that off because there's a worry that if you stop, you're going to miss something important and something bad will happen or something, there's a worry that something might happen to you or your family or your loved ones. And there's kind of this very no nonsense, loving calling out that's happening and saying those worries, we understand why you have them, but they're still justifying putting your needs behind other priorities. There's a need for you in a moment when you're able, to say, no, I must care for myself before I tackle that. And to remind yourself that you will manage everything you must when you have enough fuel to burn. You're connected. Energetically, you're doing some kind of work. You're doing some kind of spiritual work. You're doing some kind of thing that is worthwhile and is good work, or even physical work, whatever you are putting your energy into is a good thing, but there's this reminder from your loved ones, your ancestors and your angels, guides, guardians. Hey, you gotta take care of yourself. You have to balance this thing, this machine we call a body. Because if you don't, then things start to come out of balance. And sometimes putting yourself first means, I think it's Brene Brown who had this idea that about juggling, trying to juggle everything in your life. You're juggling, life, work, kids, family, dogs, school, whatever you're juggling in your life. If it's not Brene Brown, please feel free to correct me. But the idea is that you gotta start to recognize which one of those balls that you're juggling is glass and which one is plastic. Which one can you afford to drop for a second? Because we're never able to just handle everything perfectly all the time. Gosh, would it be lovely if we could. But we're human. And there's only so much we can do. Especially alone. And Spirit is saying, in this instance, caring for yourself, feeding yourself, nourishing your physical body, doing what you must, even if it's mundane, to make sure that you are actually taking care of yourself, might feel boring, might feel mundane, but Spirit is saying this is a glass ball right now. You can't afford to not take care of yourself right now. You got to do. And you're not going to be able to do it if you don't take care of yourself. So take care of yourself. This is about boundaries with yourself. Boundaries are never about controlling other people's actions. They're about controlling yours. It's not about saying you have to stop doing this. You must do this. You must be this way. It's about, if you continue to speak to me this way, I'm going to remove myself from the situation. It's the world will come and ask for me, and there will always be something asking for me. There will always be something pulling on my attention. There will always be things to juggle, responsibilities, very real, even sacred responsibilities that must be juggled. And being able to look at yourself in the face and say, I am a priority. And not just saying it, but taking action that reflects that. Self-love is action. It is a wonderful thing to be able to talk kindly to ourselves, to say things, to speak things into reality. That is a powerful thing. But this is taking another step. This is taking a step. This is taking whatever step you can in your moment, in your time, in your context, in your life, right now, today. And it might be different for everyone. It likely will be. But this is about giving yourself a safe enough boundary so that you can put your oxygen mask on, so that then you can be fueled enough, be steady and stable enough to help get the oxygen mask on the next person. 11:11. It's all going to happen in perfect time. So that's all I have for that card. And then, of course, as we were talking, we started getting cards coming up, and I really wanted to take a couple of minutes to just dig through that, because I think that it colors the entirety of what this reading is going to be. So we have the Fool and the Four of Discs. You're taking a new step away from this, I must hide. Oh, let me pull the light closer. I forgot to do that earlier. Oh, let's illuminate this a little bit. Beautiful. Much better. Okay. So this woman is being forced to hide something away, hide her goods, hide her belongings, her power, her needs. And with it came out the Fool. And the Fool, everything's out in the open. There's kind of this beautiful release with the Fool in this card. Everything's out in the open. I'm not pretending these aren't my needs anymore. I'm not pretending that I'm, I'm not pretending that I'm super mom and not going to the bathroom all day because I'm super mom and I got to be on top of it. I'm not pretending that I'm, the ultimate employee and refusing to take breaks or take your lunch break or eat on your lunch break because you got to get some other stuff done because it's not going to get done if you don't do it. There's so many different examples of this, and I'm not going to tell you what your context is right now, but that's the energy of this. And if you're feeling this, excuse me, one moment, let me get a drink of water. If you're feeling this, if you've been feeling the cramping that comes with pulling inward and holding inward energetically, physically, holding back, restraining yourself, and the idea of just letting it be out all in the open is at the same time terrifying as it is enticing. Maybe you're not even sure what that would feel like. But a part of you knows that it might feel good. And then we have an interesting crossover of these two energies, in my opinion. We have the Shaman of Discs, and I'm saying that because of the visual we have here. We have the blue in the sky, as well as the grounded earth and energy of the discs. It might feel at first like you're diving headfirst into something that you don't exactly recognize as you're doing this unpretty self-care. As you're doing this stuff that's, it might be hard, it might be frustrating, but you're diving in, and you're diving in headfirst into speaking and recognizing and acknowledging what you really need. I really need this. My body needs this right now. And although you're diving in head first, you're not going to end up upside down. It's going to put you in a place where you're twice as steady, twice as fast, out in the open, wielding part of the abundance that you have been spending so long growing and protecting. And that abundance is going to also be your, it's going to function reciprocally. You built and put energy into this thing, and it will in turn return that energy and assist you as you move forward. It's really cool. And you're not going to be alone while you do it. We have birds here, messengers, angels, guides, guardians. I'm seeing Isis, if that's important for somebody. This is an expansion of the way that you see yourself and the way that you see that you're allowed to take care of yourself. That's so fun. That's so cool. I'm so excited for you because it might feel really challenging. It might feel really challenging at first. It might feel really scary to jump in. But look what just fell out into my hand. Wheel of Fortune in the sun. Look at that. You're closing out an old way of understanding yourself, and you're stepping into the light, into your self-sovereignty. Because being whole within the self, being self-sovereign, I've said it before and I'll say it again, being self-sovereign puts you in a position where you're able to connect with the people around you. Maybe not everyone, and that's okay, but you start to find your people. And by speaking up about your needs and speaking up about what, and not just speaking, but taking action towards fulfilling those needs, you put yourself out there and those people start to see you because you're putting yourself out there. You're speaking for what you need to do. You're doing what you need to do. And that's going to put you in greater connection with your community and the people that are meant for you. Now, I want to talk about this Wheel of Fortune card for just a second, because on Monday, at the time I'm filming this, I believe it was I want to check, give me a second, the 26th. Yes, so on Monday, January 26th, which is 2 days before I'm filming this, Neptune went into, oh my goodness, my computer is doing all kinds of things. Give me a second. There we go. I'll put that away. Woo. Neptune moved in to Aries, out of Pisces, for the first time in, I believe, 165 years, 164. The planet of collective unconscious, of dreams, dreamscapes, and collective unconscious. This whole idea that it's shifting from this Piscean, watery, dreamy energy into this ramming forward. I gotta take a second. Give me a second. Let me get my words straight. Let's have a sip of coffee and get myself straightened out here. Okay. There we go. Aries is the shrieking cry of a newborn. And our collective unconscious, our dreams as, a greater community of people, a global community of people, even your local community, everybody's going to start feeling this, whether they know it or not. This is a big shift. These shifts only happen with Neptune every 14 years. So if you're old enough and you think back, to 14 years ago, which I'm going to assume you are, I'd like to talk to you guys like you're adults. I appreciate that you watch these with discernment. But you think back 14 years ago, and then the previous 14 years to that, you start to understand how that shift might look like. And so the shriek of a newborn, people are going to start feeling this kind of unapologetic existence. And part of that is you recognizing your own unapologetic existence. Because every person that's able to do that for themselves and then still stay in connection with community, stay in connection with people, with humanity, with the community around them. Every person who does that lights up a node in a larger tapestry, and every thread that's connected to them is open to this light. It's not about love and light. It's about each one of us that lights up opens up opportunity for another moment, another person, another thing. Ooh, this is so exciting. This is so exciting. Where do we want to go from here, Spirit? These ones? Okay. Wasn't sure what cards we were going to use today. We're going to use some of the Citadel Fantasy Oracle cards. So what does this individual need to hear right now? Beyond this needing to put a safe boundary in place for the self, for self-care, saying, no, I have to care for myself first before I tackle that, and I will manage everything I must when I have enough fuel to burn. What does this individual need to hear right now? Angels, ancestors, guides, guardians, thank you. There we go. Thank you. The pathless. Maybe taking care of yourself has been a really difficult decision. And maybe you haven't actually even been totally sure how to make that decision. A lack of direction. Where do I go? What do I do? And I actually see I'm getting a connection between that and Piscean energy. This kind of collective pathlessness. We have this dreamy sense of what maybe could be. But there's been a lack of direction. And maybe that's why you're experiencing this maybe on a personal level right now. Is there's been a lack of direction collectively. And now that we're shifting gears into this Aries energy, into this new cycle, ooh, you're experimenting a little bit. We've got the Witch. Experimentation and rebellion. Experimentation and rebellion. Sometimes when things have felt pathless, when things have felt impossible to reach, where you're having to make difficult decisions without even understanding fully where you're supposed to get to, it's required a little bit of experimentation. It's gonna require some experimentation. We're all in this together. We're all figuring this out. It might look like rebellion. It might look like experimentation. And that's okay. Allow yourself to be a beginner in this sense. Allow yourself to be learning. Because as you do, you will gain better judgment. Judgment. The world's having a wake-up call right now. A different type of wake-up call. Because, I mean, when we talk about astrological patterns and stuff, the patterns, they return and return over expansive periods of time, right? But that doesn't mean that it's about putting, like humanity just going through the same cycles over and over. I think maybe the if there is a point to it, maybe the intention is so that we can grow past it all together as a larger community of humans, as people. But that starts with the self. You want to do healing work for other people? That is amazing. Maybe that's part of your work. But you have to heal and be with yourself. You can't abandon yourself for the collective right now. Honoring yourself, caring for yourself in the very real physical ways that you need to be cared for will be what helps that larger alignment. The way it fell out of my hand, I was like, ooh, it kind of like bounced face down. The Devil card. Yes, because as much as this starts with you, it starts with me. It starts with each individual in every moment that they're able to be present and able to be caring for themselves, right? That starts within the individual. But it's not meant to stay individual. This is about learning how to free ourselves so that we, in turn, can free each other. This is about freeing yourself from paradigms of understanding. This is about looking at the culture that you live in, that you are a part of, that you were born into, that, you know, this worldly culture, all these horrific things that do happen and people enact. We can't pretend that those aren't real things. But it takes people doing the work within themselves and then showing up in their communities for these structures to start to fall. And the cracks are there. We've seen the cracks. We've known that this system doesn't work. And so it's being overturned, but that overturning is action and collective action. And to be part of that collective action, you must take personal action. Ooh, what a reading, you guys. I gotta say, this is really cool. What an amazing time to be alive. And I know it's a hard time to be alive. I am not trivializing that. I know that there are things happening in the world that are mind-numbingly horrible. But life is also good. And there are also good people out there. People who are doing their best to do the work within themselves and show up in their communities as the best version of them that they can. And they are looking and praying for people like you to do the same. Because every one of us that stands up to be a part of this, Every one of us that stands up and says, I honor my own needs and therefore better understand how to honor others. We deserve better. You deserve better. I deserve better. We all do. This is getting to be a big reading. Lots of cards falling out. Okay, let's just start at the top. Priestess of Wands, you are not walking this alone. It might feel like it right now because of this these personal decisions that need to be made within you, but you are not walking alone. You are walking with strength and with integrity. You are walking guarded and stewarded by spirit and spirits. You are adorning yourself with what you need to adorn yourself with to show up as the person that you know you can show up as. You have found your cauldron at the end of the rainbow. Now it's time to work with it. 7 of Discs. And you have been working with it. This is proof that you've been working with it. This is the fruits of labor. Again, we have another Mother card. You have been doing the work. And maybe part of that has led to some frustration, feeling like you're stuck, feeling like you're just kind of waiting, hanged one energy, like you're just in this limbo space. You're not. I'm seeing a connection between the way that the hanged one is hanging and the Wheel of Fortune turning. This had to happen in divine time. Okay? This had to happen on an astrological scale. Okay? Yeah, Chariot. You're already on your way. Just because you stopped at the side of the road to pluck a beautiful apple from a tree and enjoy eating it. Just because you've stopped to nourish yourself for a second doesn't mean you're not on track. Doesn't mean you're strung up in a tree again. Doesn't mean that. You're guarded, you're watched over. There are ancestors and guardians, mother energy, Cancerian energy. Again, mother. Looking out over you. Arching kind of this hedge around you. I'm even seeing Medusa's face on the side of the chariot, and in ancient times, Medusa's face was utilized on temples to show that they were places of refuge, I believe for women who experienced violence. Okay? These are not trivial things you're working with. Ha! No. And you learning how to take care of yourself is going to be what propels you into the mindset and the state of an empress. This is how the empress moves from being a queen to an empress. Moves from being in the 4 of Pentacles to the empress. Okay? This is how we build new legacy, build new structures. And that structure for yourself that of self-care can involve relaxing. Sorry for raising my voice, but it can involve resting, relaxing. It's okay. It's necessary. Your body is the glass ball right now. You must care for yourself. You must do what you can to care for yourself, okay? And I don't want to assume what that looks like. I don't want to assume ability. I don't want to assume lifestyle or living conditions. But in whatever way you are able to take a step towards that self-nourishment, real action, that's how you learn to balance. Again, I don't know if some of you are mothers. I don't know if it is a mother figure reaching out from the other side. Feminine ancestors, definitely. We've got mother energy like crazy across the board. 2 of Discs, right next to the Empress. You're learning how to better balance because you have dropped yourself as a priority in the past, and maybe for survival reasons. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying anything bad about that necessarily. We all have to do what we gotta do to survive. But moving on up, Priestess of Discs, moving on up, getting better, getting more connected with yourself. Again, another mother, you guys. Mothers are not on every card in this deck. It's going to require tapping into your emotions, into your heart space, the moon, seeing yourself in something worthy of taking care of. You have kids, think about yourself as a kid. I'm hearing, maybe, okay, this might be a little bit sensitive, but maybe you had a parent, a mother, who wished upon you having a child like yourself, saying, I hope you have a kid like you. I hope that you get what I had to go through. This terrible thing that is you. Ugh. Ugh. And now maybe you have your own kids, and you look at your own kids, and you think, thank God I got blessed with a kid like me. Because they are so easy to love. They are so easy to put first. And you see it from a completely new perspective now. You're understanding something in a new way. And maybe that understanding of, seeing maybe yourself and your kids, maybe seeing yourself in your community, seeing yourself in the moon even. Something worthy of love, of devotion, of care and attention. And seeing yourself in that might help. It might help. So much green up in this corner. After the experimentation and the rebellion, we've got this explosion of green and blue. Switch decks? Which one? That one? This one? Yeah, okay. Six of Cups in reverse. Yeah. If you had a parent, especially a mother, speaking to you that way, treating you like dirt and acting as if it was your fault, it wasn't right. And it wasn't right, but maybe you're still learning. Maybe you're still learning how to treat yourself in a way that you always should have been treated. Now, I feel like that message about the mother is very specific. It's for somebody, I don't know who. But you deserve the love you weren't getting, and you deserve the care that you weren't getting. You deserve to be more than what this system tells you that you amount to. Because you are more. Ooh, I just heard, what if I just lose everything? What if I sit down and it's gone? Because it's happened before. Not this time. It's a real fear. You're allowed to have it. You're not in trouble for feeling it. Yeah. You've had to fight for your life, haven't you? Over and over again. And you have had to leave behind the things that you put so much love and effort into. Yeah, you felt like somebody poisoned the earth, salted the earth. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And yet, you're here. You're acknowledging a part of you that maybe you're not as kind to yourself as you need to be. as you deserve, as you should be. And somebody was really hoping that you'd just stay down. Some energy was really hoping that you'd just stay down, lie down, stay down, play dead. Let down those defenses. Come on now. And you didn't. Yeah, King of Swords, you didn't. You saw right through that ish. You saw right through it because you looked within. You looked within yourself. And maybe you're still in the process of this. Maybe this is still a habit and a pattern of self-abandonment. And I am not speaking with judgment. There's stuff in here for me too, you know? I'm not speaking with any kind of judgment. Yeah. Because you are strong enough to be gentle. To know that your strength comes from within and from spirit. And that nobody can take that from you. So even if all your plans go to crap, even if everything you've worked on, you would be strong enough. Now, that said, Spirit, give us a little bit of understanding, because this feels like what's happened in the past. This feels like, you know, being in the wrong places with the wrong people because we weren't fully ready to accept the good that we really deserved. And holding fast to that understanding, demanding of ourselves that we're figuring out balance, standing 10 toes down on what you know is true for you, on what you know you need to do for you. Any more cards from this deck? Those ones? Okay. Both of them? No, just this one. King of Wands. Yeah. You're more creative than this situation. You didn't need to just abandon your defenses and all the things you've worked for this time because you got more creative. You got more creative, and so did Spirit. Spirit said, oh, this is happening? All this is going down? It's fighting? Stuff being yoinked out right from under you? Okay, let's get creative with it. You got creative, Spirit got creative, and met you halfway there. Right? And now you're just taking a rest by a tree, and it's really hard for you to not stop having your head on a swivel. And Spirit's saying, eat the apple. Like, if you have to, stop this video and eat the apple. Go to the bathroom, drink some water, do that thing you know you need. You know will be a balm for you the moment you do it, a relief. Hell, I don't even care if you turn this video off to do it. It's just a video. I'm just here for confirmation. And hell, Spirit doesn't mind if you turn this video off and do it right now either. Emperor, look at that. Fully embodied in the self. Fully embodied in your power. Surrounded by a feast. And I don't want to assume that food is easy to come by right now. So I don't want to come off that way. But you're going to be not only walking towards a position, but Spirit's leading you to a position where it's going to get easier. But you got to start learning how to take care of yourself, because that's a habit that comes from inside. Spirit can't do everything for you. They can be on the sidelines. They can cheer you on. They can support you. They can send you messages. But only you get to make this decision for you. Yeah, 10 of Wands. They can literally be all on the sidelines, cheering, shrieking, excited, so happy for you. But you have to do this. Shaman of Swords, yeah, speaking truth, speaking the honesty of what you need to be who you know you are. Pulling up from that root, being connected to that red root, allowing that to come all the way up, speaking it out, using breath, and then allowing that thing to carry us one step closer on the ladder to being who we believe we need to be. Yeah, this is about ways that you have been sneakily unkind to yourself. Sneakily unkind to yourself. Let me put it this way. You got kids, you got a dog, you got something you love. Would you speak to them that way? Would you speak to someone who you love and value the way that you speak to yourself? Would you treat them the way that you treat yourself? Would you say, you can't get up to go to the bathroom because you got stuff to do? You can't eat that right now because you got your nose in this and you got to finish it. No. Of course you wouldn't. So don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Whew, what a reading, Spirit. The energy is quite beautiful. I'm going to be honest, even though it's challenging. You can imagine yourself even as this person who cares. See yourself as something more. Yeah. Because we have here the 9 of Discs, the self-sovereign individual, and the Hierophant. In order to be a Hierophant figure, in order to be a figure who teaches wisdom, shares, helps others, powerful role with a lot of responsibility. You gotta, in your personal life, be able to be independent and self-sovereign. So connected with yourself and grounded that you can be around other people who maybe aren't connected with themselves at all. Ooh, I'm hearing so connected, so healed, you can sit across the table from snakes and it doesn't bother you. You keep working your magic. Because you know what you're capable of. Woo! And bottom of the deck, Magician. Look at that. I think that that's the perfect way to end off this reading. The Magician. We have the Fool, Magician, Emperor, Empress, Chariot, Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, the Moon, the Hanged One. Judgment. It's time to wake up. Time to care for yourself the way that you should have been cared for. And Spirit will celebrate you for that. 4 of Wands, the 1111 card. Remember how I said 111 at the beginning of all this? All in perfect time. That action you take today, small as it may be, to other people, understand that it's a big step for you, and that's okay. I'm seeing somebody pressing a nursing call button. If that's the only thing you can do for yourself to care for your needs today, is dragging your arm up to press a call nurse button, then do it. Because it's a big step for you. Doesn't matter what the world sees of this step, because you understand how important this step is for you. And your ancestors, your angels, guides, and guardians understand it as well. They're celebrating you, baby. Because no longer are you pathless. No longer do we have lack of direction. You have got this. Be kind to yourself. Don't be cruel to yourself as you are learning this. Speak to yourself kindly. Treat yourself with the care and responsibility and dedication that a good mother does to her children. Because you deserve it. Not for anything you do, but for who you are. 44:44 on the clock. Deep breaths in and out. You have got this. This message came through as confirmation for you because you've got this. Breathe deep. Don't panic. And in that one way today, do what you can to care for yourself and get yourself what you really need, whatever it looks like. Thank you for being here with me today. This has been Herald Hearth. You can call me Auntie A, and I really do hope you have a wonderful day.